beats ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Broadcasting live from the heart of Europe, this is the most badass YouTube broadcasting out of the known land, ladies and gentlemen. I am Tommy C, and this is Shot from the Point. Behind the glass, none of the Dr. Vago on point, Jeff the Huffman, but that's not who you're here for. It's the return of John Scarce. After the big fight, John, welcome once again. It's really good to have you back. We got a lot of questions to ask you, and I'm going to tell you right now, he's a real deal. You're the Italian stallion, but only from Long Island, not from Philadelphia. Welcome aboard. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, dude.
You'll be feeling electric. I mean, you've been through a lot since we last streamed, and it was probably one of the biggest moments in this channel's history, considering some of the things we were talking about. And I kind of want to pick up... well, actually, let's go right to the fight and we'll go back. We'll do a little Quentin Tarantino. What's it like to land in the Heathrow and realizing that you're fighting among a couple thousand a couple thousand people? I mean, what's going through you? You landed at the airport. Now what?
Yeah, dude. Well, I was with a bunch of really good friends. Actually, a buddy of mine from grade school. He's actually my weed dealer. But he's a good dude. And so, you know, they were like longtime friends. It wasn't like I went with a bunch of YouTubers or some shit. I went with like people that I've known for a long time. And you know, they made it a lot more comfortable. And I definitely was. Did
they give you weed?
Very nervous.
I bet you were. Like what?
We got weed. There was like a YouTuber there that.
Oh, I know who he is. I don't know. I mean, I don't know who he is. Yeah, sure. Let's just say that.
I mean, I didn't smoke weed like months leading up to the fight. Like actually, since the last interview, I don't think I even smoked. Maybe like I took a hit of a joint or something. But I would stay completely sober, dude. I didn't even drink on my 21st birthday. Like I was just staying super sober. And it actually helped a lot. Like it really helped me progress and I guess do better when it comes to training and staying on my diet because you know we all get munchies.
Sure.
And it definitely helped me out a lot to just kind of abstain from weed for the time being. But then after the fight, you know, that's when you kind of just stop giving a shit for like a week, and then you know you get back into it again. And I'm getting back into it right now.
Sure, I got you. You know, that's interesting that you said that nothing could have stopped me from drinking on my 21st birthday. Like absolutely nothing. Do you think this has changed you more than short term? Because, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, bud. I've been real thin before too. And as soon as you start getting out of that, especially with gaming and what you do in YouTube, it's really easy to get in a place where you know you're popping chips and typing and you know playing Overwatch or whatever. But
yeah,
that
that's
says
why
something.
I kind of have to.
Yeah,
what's up?
But you didn't drink on your 21st birthday. Were you bummed out about that, or were you just so focused that it wasn't that important to you?
Dude, I was so focused, man. Like, I really couldn't stop and think about anything because, like, I had so much shit going on in my life that was just fucking terrible. So I really just wanted to focus on this boxing thing and, like, just not think about anything else. You know what I mean? And so I just kind of, you know, went through it and just didn't even drink, which, to be honest, it wasn't that bad. I don't drink much alcohol, period. I don't even really care too much about drinking alcohol. I like weed a lot better, but I think I'm probably not going to smoke as much anyway because, you know, smoking weed, I think, can really, if you're not careful with it, you can really get some bad munchies and you can eat a lot of food, at least for me. It makes me eat everything in my house. Everything that I have on hand, I'll eat. So that's why, you know, weed isn't the best for me, but I have friends that it's totally fine for.
It came out after the fight that you broke your wrist. Can you explain what happened there? Because, I mean, that was a legitimate reason to quit the fight. I mean, that's legit, but I know what you're thinking. I don't know if you ever said it publicly. If you have, I haven't heard you. You're afraid of people calling you out for spooking. You went out there with a broken wrist, and I imagine you told people to keep it quiet until afterwards, because that's the only time I ever heard about it. How did you break your wrist, and is that the reason you kept it quiet?
So it was actually the right hand. I ended up getting a metacarpal fracture. So before the fight, I got like 2 different X-rays. I went to urgent care twice, and they're just like, no, like there's nothing wrong with your hand, right? And I'm like, this is insane because I can't even pick up like a water bottle. It's in such bad pain.
Man.
I can't even move it. So then this one doctor, she finally puts me in a splint, but that really wasn't helping. I mean, it just wasn't getting better. So then I got an MRI a week before the fight because I was just like, dude, I don't want to go to this fight and then start crying about my hand after and not have legitimate proof. And I didn't even talk about the hand afterwards because that would be, you know, I fucking lost anyway. But
Yeah.
I got the MRI and the results came back, and yeah, it was a metacarpal fracture. And we are doing follow-up appointments right now on the hand. But the biggest issue with that is I couldn't. Well, first off, I couldn't train very much a couple weeks before the fight. We tried, and I would go and I would spar for long periods of time until my hand just couldn't handle it anymore. Like, my hand would just fucking swollen as shit. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And there actually are a couple of spars that were recorded of where I would hit a guy with a really good right hook, and I would just freak out, dude. I would take off my shit really quickly. My hand would just be swelling up. It was so funny. But the issue with that is, like, 2 weeks before the fight, I wasn't able to upload any videos because editing videos is so fucking hard, dude. Like, even like just moving my mouse around at all was like, it hurt my hand. So I didn't really I didn't say anything about it because I know you're not supposed to say anything to your opponent. I mean, like, Rock is a cool dude. It's not like I didn't really care for him knowing very much, but I, you know, my coach and my trainers were like, don't tell anyone about this hand, you know, just keep it quiet. So I wasn't able to tell anyone, like, I can't upload videos right now because my fucking hand, I can't edit videos. I can't even go on the computer. You know, I mean, I did go on the computer, but it was just fucking hard. I had to use my left hand. It's annoying.
Scarce took a bit of a beating. This is from Nicholas Diorio, a fellow Long Island person, but he's the people's champion. I want to ask you, thanks for repping New York, homie. Do you know, I've heard this said before that you were the biggest winner, PR-wise, fame-wise, in the whole thing, even more so than the other winners. Do you feel that you won this in a sense that you really did prove something?
I don't know, man. Well, I lost, and I lost pretty badly.
You lost the fight, but you're Italian stallion. Rocky lost the first fight against Apollo Creed, brother. You know, but yeah. You know, you lost the fight, but you won a lot of other things. Not just respect. You know, how did you break your wrist in the first place? Like, was it just through sparring? It was my hand. It was my hand. That wasn't my wrist. But yeah, I'm sorry, your hand. Through sparring, I imagine, right?
There's like, I think it was a couple things.
You punch a wall?
My bathroom door was no.
Yeah.
My bathroom door was like broken. I couldn't get it open, and it was late at night. I just wanted to fucking take a piss, dude. I'll go back to sleep. So I tugged this thing, dude, with all my might. I got my fucking my leg on the wall, tugging this thing, and it just didn't open. And afterwards, dude, my hand hurt so badly. And that same motion, I just wasn't able to do for weeks afterwards. I mean, right now it's still pretty fucking bad, but at least now I can use my mouse and shit.
And you went up there, and you went up there anyway. Did you ever think about?
It was like I had the worst luck ever, dude, leading up to the fight. Like, it was so bad.
Did you ever think about backing out?
No, that wasn't an option, dude. Because, I mean, maybe like if I broke my leg or some shit, yeah, definitely. But
could you have gotten out? I mean, I imagine KSI would have understood. You can't fight. You can't punch. You can't fight. Or was it an option, man, like from you? Or
well, the doctor, I lied to the doctor beforehand because you know the doctor does the checkup right before the fight.
Yeah.
And you know, he was like fucking grabbing my hand and shit. And I'm like, dude, get the fuck off me! Like, it hurts so badly, but you can't say anything because. And my coach was like, dude, don't say shit to the doctor.
Yeah.
Because you don't want it to be like right before the fight and he takes you out. So I was totally silent to him, which is good. Because I wanted that opportunity no matter what, dude. Like, I could have been more hurt probably, and it would have been fine because it was just such a fucking huge opportunity. You know, that's what doesn't make any sense to me. There's so many other YouTubers that could have had this opportunity and they didn't go for it. I don't get what. I don't get the reason why. I guess they didn't want to get beat up in front of everyone, but I thought it was, it was a very, very awesome experience.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how you handle yourself, you could ruin your career up there. If you run your mouth and talk shit, and then it might be tough to, you might see a sub loss. So yeah, you're putting your career on the line. Nobody likes to get knocked out and stood over. Nobody likes to lose a fight. So yeah, it takes. I think it's the most manly fucking thing you can do, and I'm not exaggerating. You square off with a guy that you don't know, that you don't really have any emotions about. Although your fight poster is fucking fantastic, by the way. That if I saw that fucking face in a dark alley, look the fuck out. I look at that poster and I'm like, "Where's my weed, motherfucker?" I'm like, "Hey, there it is. Sorry, should have got it to you earlier."
Dude. They told me to look mean, so I sat there and I took multiple pictures of trying to look the meanest possible. And then Rocca didn't do anything. He just looked like a normal human being. So it made me look really bad.
I don't think it made you look. I think it made you look cool. I like that. I'm glad you looked mean. So going back, I did drift from the question. Do you think you won? As far as the people everybody's blown away. I know this guy Tonka he's a pro wrestler. He's done some MMA fighting. Legit tough guy. I mean, he's really impressed by you. I have people coming to me all the time and saying, and talking about your interview with me a couple months ago, showing your true side and showing the kind of guts they have. Maybe the reason those other YouTubers didn't show up is just you're made of different shit. Do you ever think of that?
No, dude.
No?
Nah,
Too
dude.
humble, baby. You're
Not
too
the
humble.
little flannel boy behind the tree.
You're too
No
humble.
one's afraid of that boy.
Yeah, I gotta. Were you disappointed when Keem said he couldn't fight because he was too old?
Dude, I really wanted to fight him. That would have been more funny. Yeah. I don't know if I could have kept a straight face during the fight though. It would have been really funny.
Well, he would have come and knocked your ass out. He would have come in strong. I don't think Keem would have walked away from it. He would have, but he's spotting you a lot of reach though, boy.
No, dude, Keem, I mean, I'm sure he would have trained, done really well, but he said that he was too old, right? So
yeah, he probably is.
I understand, I guess.
Yeah, I think he's on blood pressure medicine like me because he had the same sleeping habits and smoking habits.
But also, doesn't he have I don't know this, I don't want to say anything that's personal or private about someone else, but he tweets about this sometimes. Doesn't he smoke cigarettes?
I think he stopped.
Would be really,
yeah, dude, it fucks you up. No, I think if I had to guess, he smoked like I did. When I worked with him, all three of us were just constantly.
Dude, you can't go into a boxing match if you smoke a lot of cigarettes because your lungs have to be fucking top notch.
Sure.
To not gas out,
Yeah, no, it's true. And he's 36, I think. So it's not. It's kind of, you really have a huge advantage over him. It's probably not even fair at this point. It would probably have been cool if maybe a couple of years. Well, you're only 21. You couldn't even afford him a couple of years ago. So were you gonna fight him when you were 16? Yeah, that's real. So you get to the fight, and then something else happens in the first round. What happens? Changes the fight pretty quick, right?
What?
Something happened in the first round.
I didn't even watch the fight, dude. I'm too fucking embarrassed to watch it.
Right? Why are you embarrassed to watch it?
I was just there.
That's not true. I don't believe that. I think I don't buy that. But what I was getting in is I thought you broke your nose in the first round, and you didn't know how to breathe with it.
No, dude. The thing with that is during sparring, like 2 months leading up to it, I was sparring, and every day we'd spar, I would get a bloody nose, dude. Like my nose is absolute fucking garbage. But my nose, he did break my nose.
Yeah.
But when I was my nose was bleeding, it wasn't that big a deal because during sparring it had been fucking battered during sparring. So all the stuff I was getting during the fight, I mean, really the only thing that sparring taught me, because I didn't put any of it into the fucking fight.
Yeah.
The thing that training taught me was just to not worry about the pain, just wait till the end of the fight to worry about it.
Yeah, gotcha.
And so that was the only thing that it really helped me out with. And yeah, dude, my nose is still bleeding right now, even while talking to you. I'm fucking.
You're pro boxer, baby. Of course you're bleeding. That's normal. you
dude, and the worst part is, I'll tell you the worst part about this whole thing, though. Okay, so, we finished the fight, and I've been talking about eating at a buffet the entire time before the fight, dude. I haven't eaten out since probably like dude, I don't even know. Dude. It's been a long fucking time since I've eaten out, and you know, I've just been eating fucking, you know, fucking vegetables and shit, like shit that just tastes so bland. So I wanted to go to a buffet. I haven't been to a buffet in forever. You know, I could knock out a buffet, dude. I'd probably eat all the food there, right, if I really wanted to. Yeah. And after the fight, man, my nose was totally blocked. So I couldn't taste food. The only thing you could taste, dude, it was like a punishment for losing, man.
Oh my god!
It was a total punishment, man. It was so bad. I still can't taste food even to this day. The only thing I can taste is if it's like sweet or savory. That's the only thing I can taste. But you can't actually. I couldn't tell you what the food was that I was eating. It's retarded, dude. It's so bad.
Thank you, Doc. Oh man, that's. You don't sound frustrated, though. I mean, you know, let's rewind a couple months. You disappeared, and you came back on my show, and you dropped a bomb. You talked about getting hooked on some pills, and it was kind of the fault of your doctor. It was your fault, too, but, I mean, you know, you got a bad prescription. It didn't work well for you, and then you got it to the point where you're going to the street for it. And then you got an accident in Bell Parkway or something, right?
Yeah.
But luckily nobody was hurt.
mean, I didn't take it beforehand, but it was like, you know, it was the Half-Life thing where the next day you're still going to be in a drowsy state. You know, it definitely, I'm sure it had an effect on my driving. Sure.
And then, but that was a real wake up call for you. It changed you.
Yeah.
That was a change. That was a changing moment, and you start like I'm training, and then the KSI Weller fight is a big success, and you say to yourself, I want to do that. I can do that. And you start talking about Keemstar, and that would be epic just because you guys are the biggest drama channels or news channels on the thing. And you lose in the next 6 months, you lose 100 pounds. Were you angry at the world, or were you just like, you were that into it, or we doing something wrong? You know,
dude. I mean, I am like, fucking weird, man. Yeah. So like, I have these months of just not doing shit, and then I have these months of where I just fucking want to do everything, right? So after that fucking thing of like trying to go through that withdrawal and like dealing with all that shit, and I came back and I already been losing some pretty significant amount of weight at that point. I wanted to do everything, man. I wanted to do this boxing thing. I wanted to do YouTube. I wanted to do just better myself health-wise, and everything really ended up working out really well. I you know, especially like, I don't know, a month before the fight, dude, I was spending like 5-6 hours in, whether it be in the gym, then boxing, and then I would go home and I would literally have like, I mean, I don't know what my macros were at exactly, but, you know, I was having like, I don't know, 1,400 calories, and it just, I felt so depleted, man, but I just had that goal, you know, that goal of like, oh, I want to do this boxing match. I don't want to look like a total moron in the ring. And that goal really, dude, like that really kept me on track, you know, and it didn't, it like kept me from smoking. It kept me from going back to pills. It kept me from fucking doing anything that, like, I don't know, that I would slump back into, because I feel like last year, or maybe less, maybe like 6 to 8 months ago, I really was at like a rock bottom when it came to just, you know, my weight and dude, everything, man. My social life is complete garbage. I was really a rock bottom for me, and I guess there's only two ways to go about that, right? You can continue to just be a total slob, or you can you know, try to better yourself, and I just did that. I don't know what clicked in my head, but I just said, you know, fuck this, dude, like. And it's hard, dude, especially in the beginning, because when you are like almost 300 pounds, like, and you stop eating, it's like everyone around you still thinks you're a slob. Everyone around you still thinks you're a fucking loser. But, you know, you're killing it. You're really trying to lose this weight, man. And it took me a while to actually, until I started losing significant body fat. It took a while. I don't know why, but I was just at a plateau for such a long time, and I was barely eating shit. And then eventually it just all spiraled, and I started losing a lot of weight, and at the same time, I started doing this boxing stuff, and you know, I stopped drinking, I stopped smoking, I stopped taking pills, I stopped all the bad shit in my life, and really tried going towards this goal of doing this boxing thing. You know what I mean? And you know, even though I did end up losing, I think the main reason why I'm still very happy right now is because I used that as a way to like stop me from, you know, fucking up, and I bettered myself in the process. So I'm still happy right now. You know, even when I knew I lost, I was still happy because I'm happy at where I am right now.
You said before, when you get really into stuff, you're really kind of focused, I imagine. Was this were you kind of you know, you were pro gamer. Were you in that kind of zone, like the way when you were trick shotting with Red and what have you? Was it a similar feeling, like that? You know, you obviously when you were in those days, you really wanted to make it big. You know, you knew some big people like Banks and all them. Was it that kind of thing, but with athletics? And had you had that experience before with athletics?
No, I haven't actually. I played a little hockey while I was in school, but
Wait a minute,
I always
are you an
liked
Islanders or
hockey
Rangers? This is more important than anything. Are you an Islanders or Ranger fan?
I am a Rangers fan.
Thank fucking God, because this show was almost over. Okay, I'm good. I thought maybe because if the Islanders moved to Brooklyn, you changed your mind or something. All right, okay. I'm just kidding.
I really liked hockey because like you can fucking like fight people and you can be really aggressive. And you know, obviously when I was younger, you know, you're not really allowed to, but I just like being really aggressive, and I think that's why I really enjoyed boxing. Like, you know, even though I did get busted up all the time during sparring, it was fun because there was always those slight chances that you could actually get in there and do some damage to someone else, and it would just, I don't know, it'd be really fucking fun. So I had a lot of fun with it, dude. And I definitely suggest anyone who's thinking about it, get into boxing, dude. It's really fucking fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, you know, I played basketball. I played a lot of other things when I was in school, but this is definitely the most fun. It's definitely the hardest, but it's really fun.
Tony D. Wild, YouTuber, friend of mine, he said, just tuned in, Tommy, good show. I have a question for Scarce. Were you nervous in the ring before the bell, and were you ever to tune the audience out during the fight to get comfortable? Like, were you able to shut out the screaming and yelling? I think that's what he's saying. And were you know, right before that bell goes off, or once you're in the ring, you're comfortable? Like, where are you at when you step in between the ropes? Yeah,
well, I think it, you know, it might, you know, obviously, you notice everyone there, especially when you're walking in, dude. It's such a crazy experience. It's so, you know, dude, you get butterflies in your stomach when you're speaking in front of like 5 people, but when you're speaking when you're like there in front of 15,000 people, man, it's scary, dude. But I just, you know, sucked it up, and then, you know, in the ring, it's just like sparring. I'm just thinking about Rocket in the ring. I'm just thinking about this fight because, you know, you would break down if you started thinking about the fucking audience. You know, that would not be good. There's literally, it's one of those things where, like, dude, I'm scared to piss in public. Like, I have anxiety with that type of shit.
Yeah, I mean, you've said this before. I mean, it's so strange. You're not afraid of getting punched. You're afraid of what somebody in the crowd might think. That, to me, was that what this was about as well? Were you really trying to prove? It's
crazy, dude, because you get into a zen state before the fight. Like I said, I can't piss in public, but right before the fight, dude, I just pulled my pants down. Fucking stream of piss, dude, comes out. I'm like, damn, man, I have not been able to do this since I was like in grade school. So it was crazy because I was in total zen state, just only focused on this fight, only focused on trying to win. And you know, in reality, we knew that it was going to be it was going to be like impossible. But you know, you have to think. You can't just think to yourself you're going to lose before the fight. You have to be confident. So I went in there, you know, really wanting to win.
I remember when you said, "I'll fight Keem," because you didn't have. I don't think you had an opponent when I talked to you last, and you're like, and you were confident. You were real confident. I want to get to the weigh-in because there was a lot of controversy over that. And I don't. You look great, Scarce. I mean, you look amazing. And these are, I put before and after pictures. But you were taking a little shit for sucking in your belly. There's a little flab.
Dude, I don't take my shirt off. I don't think people realize, dude, like, The last time, well, I took my shirt off a couple times this summer for like pool parties and shit. But dude, I don't do that often. Like, I'm very self-conscious. You know, like when you're a kid and you leave the shirt on in the pool. That I was the kid that did that. Like, I left my shirt on in the pool. Because I've always kind of been a big dude, and no one wants to see that shit. You know what I mean? So
you look like Tony Soprano in the other picture, and then you look like his kid in the other. It's pretty funny.
Thank you.
But I mean, you suck it in your. I mean, you're gonna have a little. If I lost that kind of weight, I'm like 230 pounds. If I lost that kind of weight, I would have a little flab there too. And some boxers have that flab there, as long as like everything else your arms look great. You know, your chest is flat. I mean, it really is. It's an amazing thing. I'm having a little, and maybe I'm understanding a little better that it sounds like this fight was about facing fears, and the biggest fear wasn't getting punched in the face. As Tonka Saw says, there's a lot worse things to getting punched in the face. And it sounds like you were battling a lot of demons, if I'm not mistaken. That be accurate?
Yeah, no, dude. That win was. It could have been the single most embarrassing experience of my life, dude. Because I take my pants off and I notice my boxers are coming off. I'm like, oh my god, dude! I'm here in front of every YouTube star that I've ever like looked up to. Media are here. Fucking KSI, Logan, and them are there, and I'm about to fucking show my flaccid cock off the entire world right now, dude. It was the absolute worst moment. Like,
really?
Dude, I was so. Dude, I'm happy I kept a straight face, but I was freaking the fuck out, dude. I was freaking out. And you know, the funny part is I was wearing boxers, dude. And I don't even know how many times I've worn briefs in my life. I have not worn them very much. Gotcha. I only wear boxers. I let it hang. Hashtag boxers still.
Oh yeah. Are you still? Oh, okay. Because everybody else is. Oh, okay. Everybody still. Oh, I got it.
Everyone else is wearing briefs, you know, and I understand while you're sparring, you know, it's uncomfortable to say the least to let it hang. But I really didn't give a shit, to be totally honest with you. And you know, obviously, for a lot of spars and for the fight itself, we were wearing briefs. But I did not realize. I don't know. I just didn't even realize I was wearing boxers before I went up there, and I ended up taking off all my clothes, and it was funny. Yeah. I watched a little bit of the weigh-ins, but I wasn't able to get through the whole thing because it was just like.
Did
oh my
KSI
God.
or Logan or Jake or Dadji say anything to you, or over at Flow or Faye Sensei? Do you have any conversations with the other boxers?
They were all really nice, dude. Everyone's really nice in real life when it comes to YouTubers. I feel like, and then when you get online, it's like you think about the YouTubers go in their heads and they think about, okay, well, I can get this many views off if I talk shit on him. So that's really when people talk shit. People don't do that in real life unless you're like Vitaly and you like try to pull up on people. You know what I mean?
Did you? No, Vitaly wasn't there, was he? No. Did he ever? Vitaly never said anything to you, did he?
He said that he was going to fight me. I thought he was going to come there during the. I thought he was going to be there in Manchester.
Yeah, he probably had some hookers distract him. You were safe, I'm sure. Vitaly's not coming up to you. Jesus Christ. A better chance of Drake showing up at a fucking Fousey Tube show. You know, come on. Vitaly's not coming to fight. They'd have played their cards right. They'd have been on that card. They didn't. So that's really wild. So you got nerves. You're battling more things than punching. You got the broken hand. You break your nose. We have some problem with the nose. Rucka gets you good. But this is about standing your ground. You know, God, I mean, you see YouTubers that looked up to you, you looked up to. A lot of people look up to you now. I'll be honest with you, but this wasn't without.
Thank you.
This wasn't without a serious tragedy. I got to be honest with you. When I got the news that your father passed away, I just I couldn't. I was like, what? I mean, my news team was like, what more does this kid got to go through? But your reaction to it spoke volumes, and I mean this. It's my dad really wanted me to do this, and because if you'd have backed off, everybody would have understood, and you had to deal with this thing, and you decide, no, my dad wants me to go. Was there ever any doubt in your mind that you were going to that fight? And what happened exactly with your father?
Yeah, so yeah, my dad He was really fucking proud of me, dude. He was talking about it every single day to my mom. I don't think I've ever seen him be this proud of me over something. I mean, he's been proud of the YouTube stuff, but you know, he was really proud of this shit. And you know, I wasn't going to, and also I wasn't going to, because I had sacrificed so much before this fight, and I've been doing so much like training and bettering myself. I wasn't going to not do the fight at that point. I was already too far in. I feel like.
I think you made the right
but
decision.
But it was really. What's
I think
up?
you made the right decision. Definitely for you.
Thank you.
I think you made the right decision. If I had to guess, I mean, I know your dad, but I think I knew you made the right decision. But go ahead.
But it was really unexpected. Like my dad's passing, like it was totally unexpected. Because you know, literally like 3 days before, we were there for. I don't know if it was his birthday or Father's Day. I know they're like really close, and I was giving him his present. And the guy was talking about how like all these things that he wants to do later in life and stuff. And now that, you know, my sister's, because my sister, she left for college this year for her senior year. And, you know, and he's talking about all this shit that he's going to do. And then like a couple days later, he dies. So it was it was crazy, dude. It was like a kind of like a wake up call of like, shit, I need to be there for my family and stuff. That's why I'm not moving this year. I'm going to stay in New York. I was going to move to LA with all the YouTube douchebags, but I think the best.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can't be loved.
I think the best thing for me is to stay in New York this year, be with my family.
Yeah, sure.
And but he was a fucking trooper, dude.
Yeah.
We were in the hospital literally for like, dude, it was like 20 hours. And
may I ask what happened to him? May I ask? Was that
up?
too personal? May I ask what happened to your father, or was that too personal?
Yeah, so he had a blood clot in his leg, and I didn't know about this beforehand. I think the only one that knew was like my mom, and she didn't think it was that big a deal, and I don't think anyone really thought it would be this big a deal because he's had it for like a decade. Because they put a screen in there, I think. I don't know too much about this, to be honest. I forgot a lot what they told me, but they put a screen in his leg, I think, to like keep it from going anywhere, and he's had that for a long ass fucking time, and it hasn't bothered him. And I think his leg was bothering him like the day before, but it just wasn't that big a deal. He was still walking around. It wasn't like, you know, he had to go to the emergency room or anything. And he just went to work, and the issue is he worked for MTA, and you know, like the transit authority or whatever, and he was on his own train car, so there was, you know, there was literally like no one there, and he liked that. He liked being in his own private train car because he hates fucking people.
The bosses that leave you alone. Yeah, I bet it was.
So he gets to be alone. He gets to sleep and stuff, and he enjoys that on his way to work. And it turns out that that's when the clot had gone into his lungs, and he had, I think, instantly went unconscious. We don't really know how much pain he was in. We don't know what happened from that point, but he was unconscious for we don't know how long because he was in that train car by himself, and you know, they didn't find him for a long time. So he could have easily probably been saved if there was other people around, but it was because it was just, you know, he was by himself. And then, you know, the conductor finally realized that something was wrong, and you know, and then we were there for so long, and from the beginning we thought he was going to be fine, to be honest, but it just kept getting worse. And then you know, they gave us the news and shit, and that was some, you know, that was some really fucked up shit, dude. I mean, Jesus Christ,
I can't imagine.
It was a scary, it was a terrible 4th of July, dude. Like fucking hell.
I can't imagine. Well, my dad's my best friend, you know. Woo. Oh man. You know, but you drove on. Did that come into your trading at all? Did you put that out of your mind? Did that come in like, I'm doing this for dad, or you just try to stay focused?
Yeah, I just tried to stay as focused as possible. It didn't really affect training or anything like that. I mean, I sparred literally like the day after, like the day of his funeral. I sparred because it was like at that point where it's like, okay, this is like serious now. Like I gotta, you know, I'm not gonna fucking let him down now. Like I gotta fucking, you know, do this. And you know, so I sparred, got my nose busted up, then went to his funeral. And dude, it was crazy the amount of training I was trying to do for this thing, but I stuck with it, man, and I'm happy that I did. Yeah, dude. Fuck, and that's why I didn't go down in the ring, because I wasn't gonna go down. You know, hopefully, you think your dad would be watching you. I mean, I don't fucking know if there's an afterlife or anything like that, but you would think that he would be watching you in a situation like that. So, you know, I didn't want to embarrass him or anything like that in the ring.
You did. No way. No way.
Thank you.
No way. I'm like you.
As soon as you stepped in the ring, you won.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Bingo.
Yep, 100%.
Thank you, man.
That's I don't even know quite where to go from here. Jeff's got some questions about your training that I probably wouldn't be able to ask you otherwise. Feel free to help us understand like what your routine is like, and maybe how do you start something like this? Jeff, could you help me out here?
Well, yeah. But before I get to that, I want to say sorry about your dad, man. You actually just gave me a real big case of deja vu, because I actually just I lost my mom about actually almost 5 years ago to the day. I mean, almost exact same scenario. Just I talked to her at lunch, as a matter of fact, like nothing was wrong, and then fast forward 8 hours later, she's gone. And
oh my god.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. She had a heart attack, and you know, normally with like stuff like that and all the stuff that you were dealing with, normally that would kind of give people a sense of hopelessness, so to speak. And that's kind of the big thing I see, like when I'm helping people where I work. Like Tommy said, I'm a trainer, and
he looks like John Cena if he takes his shirt off. It's no exaggeration. I mean, he's ripped. He's ripped the fuck up. I think it's what he's saying is the same kind of thing you have for fighting is what he has for bodybuilding and fitness training. But go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
No, but stuff like that. That's like the big thing I see when like people who have like, you know, never taken that step before, they kind of feel hopeless. They don't know what to do. Like, what would you say to those people who, you know, don't know where to turn? Like, they feel hopelessness and like they want to shoot for something, but they don't know. They just feel like there's nothing they can do. What would you say to them?
I think the best way to go about that is to like find a goal, find something that you want to do, because that's what was able to bring me out of it really quickly was, you know, the opportunity that was given. And like when you do have like a big goal like that, then it's almost like nothing can stand in your way. Like even when you are really down and stuff, you're going to do anything you can to try to achieve that goal. Because I feel like that's what, you know, I feel like a lot of people can slump into depression or get really sad if they don't have a goal and they feel like they're, you know, there's no future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. I can't think of any better advice. This is like an area that I'm the old man of YouTube. Kids come to me, and so I don't know how to tell somebody about something like that. But I imagine, like, what do you want? All right, that's what you want. How do you get it? That's the goal. Go for it. Focus. And that's probably the best way to. It's probably the best way to mourn. You know, something happened to me. That's the way I want people to mourn. You know, shoot for the stars, man. If you got to use me, you know, so be it. Okay, fight's over. You never looked embarrassed. You had this. You put the YouTube video out. It was great. It was like, I just had the time of my life. Everybody, look out! You know, and your fucking nose is busted, and you're bleeding from your eye and shit. I mean, it was fucking electric. It was electric to see that shit. Were you putting that on to seem humble, or did you really feel that this was fun? Getting your face punched in?
Was this after the fight?
Yeah, you put a YouTube video. Do you remember it? Or a Twitter video, excuse me. Do you remember it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I decided not to go to the after party because, like,
really?
I don't know. I just didn't feel like it, dude. But, you know, so then I went back to my hotel room and I wanted to go take a shower, and we were going to go out later anyway. So I was like, you know what? Like, I got to get a video in of my face like this, dude, because you know I'm gonna take a shower and it's not gonna be like this. So I fucking took a video, and I was just trying to address a lot of the concerns people had. There's a lot of like comments and stuff when it came to my weight loss saying it wasn't healthy, and I understand where people were coming from, and I just wanted to, you know, make a video addressing the whole situation and also addressing my initial thoughts after the fight, which was just like, you know, yeah, I was fucking happy, dude. I was happy that I did it. I was happy that it was over finally.
Yeah, I bet. What'd you eat? What'd you eat? Like, what did you have to eat? What's up? What did you have to eat? Was like I mean, you're far from New York, no pizza. What'd you have over there?
Sorry to interrupt. That was the most impressive impressive thing over the last 6 months, you know, because you dropped that weight ridiculously fast.
Yeah.
You still look good while you did it too. That's impressive. Like, that was going to be my next question. Like, what did your training and like nutrition like consist of? Because that's damn impressive what you did or what you've done.
Yeah. So, we were just really strict with it, man. Like, obviously Tommy's telling me that you look like fucking.
He's all ripped the fuck up. No exaggeration.
Yeah, you're shredded. I'm guessing, yeah. But yeah. So for my diet, we just were. I think the only way I was able to get myself to stop being so like gluttonous and like just wanting food constantly was to just be as strict as fucking possible with it, man. To have a set macros that you have every day. You know, I'm sure you do that. Fucking everyone does that I know. But I just was so strict with it, man. I wouldn't go over by 1 carb at all. I would just weigh all my food out. I still weigh all my food out and just make sure that the calories and the macros are perfect for the day that I'm eating them. And that was really the only way I was able to stop myself. I think that in the beginning, though, what I did to really lose the weight, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit in the weight loss video, but in the beginning, what I would do is I would make it so it's like, okay, well, you have to get a set amount of work done today. You have to get a set amount of shit that you got to get done today. You got to go to the gym today. You got to do all this extra work, whether it be make a YouTube video or I don't know, walk a couple miles. And then at the very end of the day, like, you know, I'm talking like 11 p.m., that's when you can eat your food. So just intermittent fast the entire day, and you just you're not allowed to eat food until 11 p.m. And then you have the set food that you're going to eat, which wouldn't be very much. And then I would eat that food, and then I would go to sleep right after because it would already be my bedtime. So it would make it really easy for me to go to sleep on a full stomach, which is what everyone wants. You don't want to go to sleep on an empty stomach. And the entire day just going through that grueling process of not eating. And it sucks the first couple of days, but eventually I feel like I got used to it, and I was able to lose a lot of weight that way. That was in the beginning, and then obviously I could be more flexible with it. But I feel like at first you kind of have to get out of that addiction. You have to get out of, because you're so addicted to just stuffing your face and feeling so full, and you know what I mean. Like you're just so addicted to it. So you gotta start getting addicted to feeling a little bit hungry, you know what I mean? At least for the first month, I feel like obviously, you know, you don't want to get too crazy with that, but I think eventually you get addicted to that feeling of, okay, yes, I'm bettering myself right now. I feel fucking hungry, but I'm not going to eat until the very end of today. And I would do that, and I would be depleted all day, but it was the only way I was able to get through it, and it worked really well for the first few months. And then I was able to, you know, I was able to not intermittent fast anymore, and I was able to do a bunch of other shit.
Cool. Sounds like you got, because that was really important to Jeff. I'm sorry I transitioned after the other stuff, Jeff, but I didn't know what the fuck to do.
No, you're good. No, you're good.
I didn't know what to do. It's expected. I'm not that good at this shit, Jeff.
I'm not surprised.
I'm sorry.
I'm not surprised.
But you did a good job.
You transitioned back nice, though.
Yeah, I tried. You had me all fucking emotional.
We'll just say that was planned.
I was trying not to breathe heavy. John, you're doing amazing, by the way. I was trying not to breathe heavy. It really wasn't. Look, on a lighter note, would you like to take some fan questions? I did a short stream on my gaming channel, and we took some questions. Some of them are goofy, some of them are I think some of them are on a level. You boxing again?
I definitely will if they let me in the rematch. I think it'll be a sick underdog story if I come in there in the rematch and win, you know what I mean? So if they do let me in the rematch, I'm going to start training tomorrow, you know, but I just want to make sure I have 100% confirmation.
Gotcha. Yeah, you still got to stay in shape and, you know, get better and get that nose to heal. And
hell yeah, dude. I'm going to train my fucking balls off for like 6-7 months.
That's funny you say balls off, because this is an interesting question. All right, legit question. Did the loss of weight affect your penis size? I heard it happen sometimes.
Dude, I just thought I didn't even, dude, my dick was like 2 inches when I was 300 pounds, man. Like, I'm not going to lie. It was tiny, dude.
It got bigger.
All that fat around it, yeah. No, your dick gets small, dude. When you get to like 300-pound range.
I got to start working out.
Dude, all that extra fat goes to your pelvis, right? It goes down there, dude. So, like, you have a small ass dick at 300 pounds. But I feel like mine is above average at this point.
All right, you're John fucking Holmes. Well,
it's a huge difference, huge difference, dude. Literally like 3 times as big as it was, maybe even bigger. When I was 300 pounds. It's weird, dude. It's really strange, the difference. But that was the first thing I noticed when
on
I started
this topic, and this is not my question. It's these are fans. Have you got any pussy since you did your last? Well, it says since you did your last interview with me, because you did. You complained about. Yeah, all right. You complained about. You hadn't gotten laid in a while. I mean, God, you've had to get laid since this fight, at least, right?
No. Dude,
hey, gamers, there's hope for you too. There's hope for you too, gamers.
I'm a total loser when it comes to.
You're not going the right
when it comes to that stuff, man. But there is girls that I've been talking to and stuff, and something might happen, but I don't know why, man. I'm a loser when it comes to that shit.
Yeah, I don't think for much longer. I don't think for much longer.
Maybe if I went to the after party, but I got too lazy, man. I'm a lazy motherfucker, dude. When it comes to anything other than like
boxing,
a set goal like that, yeah.
Boxing and trick shotting. How involved are you in the actual event itself? I mean, did you have any say?
The actual event itself. Wait, what did you say?
How involved were you? Were you involved in setting up the event at all, or did you just show up?
Dude, I was like the least involved out of everyone because I'll tell you what happened before the event actually started. So we come up right. I got all my coaches, my trainers, my friends, and we go to the this back gate they tell us to go to for the actual fight, and the security there was a bunch of viewers there, and they're like, oh my God, it's Scarce, and we're taking pictures, and then the security's like, we don't know who you are, and we were showing them the posters and stuff. We're like, we need to get in here because we're literally late. Like they say the doctor's gonna leave right now, and we're fucking late, and we had to wait for 45 minutes outside, and it was so obvious that we were in the fight, but they just didn't let us in, and it was the worst experience ever. And then we didn't have ringside seats. We didn't have seats, period.
What?
So we couldn't even get in. Yeah, and my friend got knocked out or got kicked out, and I wasn't told this while I was fighting because I think my trainer, my coach, didn't want to tell me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so my friend from grade school, he flies all the way over to Manchester. This is a great fucking dude. He wanted to watch me fight, and he can't watch me. He gets kicked out. He gets sent to the back of the line, and he has to stay under a bridge. And apparently, some homeless guy gave him money, thinking that he was homeless at the time. He had the worst time ever, dude. He had the absolute worst time ever, man. It was terrible.
I would smoke a joint with you. I'd go to a bar with you, but I am never going gambling with you. Ever. That's never happening. I would never fucking put a bet down
so bad. It was so bad. And we had to try so hard to get him in, and we finally got him in, but we couldn't get good seats. We had some really shit seats for the rest of the fight, so that's why I don't think anyone saw me anywhere else other than the actual fight itself, because that was the only time they let us in there.
Oh my God!
When I was actually fighting. I felt like a fucking gladiator, dude, like some goddamn fucking slave that they just throw out
there to fight,
and then they throw you back into the fucking prison cells, dude. It was terrible. But
it's a good thing you got a smile on it. This would have freaked some people out. You did not have a lot of luck going into this. It's and I think I hope the kids learn something in this. I mean, just because you lose doesn't mean you lose. I mean, and Scarce is. I mean, he's winning on so many other, so many other grounds. All right, I got more questions to read for you. Well, I think I can answer this myself. Were you afraid to hit back because of the injury, or was it physically too difficult?
Was I afraid to hit back?
Yeah.
Well, we have been training for weeks before just using a left. So I really didn't want to use the right hand because, like I said, there's even video of me sparring using that hand, and it hurts so badly whenever I would actually get a punch in on someone. But yeah, dude, it was bad. I didn't put my training into play there, dude. I should have, hit back more. Every time I tried to hit him, I mean, he got me, dude. He was fucking great. His reach was less than mine. He still came in there, kicked my fucking ass.
But he could knock you down, and there was one point where he got you with a straightforward jab, and he pulled back like he was shocked, like he couldn't put you down. the New York in you.
I kept looking at his face, and I'm like, this is the dude. I was about to laugh during the fight, but I remember Joe Weller was laughing during the last KSI fight. And it made him look like a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to laugh and look like a crazy person. But his face, dude, there's something about Michael's face that's so like it's just innocent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so when
I
he
know
was
what you
fighting
mean.
me, I'm looking at this guy's face, and I'm just like, I know he doesn't want to do this. Like and I wanted to laugh about it, but I didn't want to come off as like crazy during the fight. But it was like, oh my god, like yeah.
You mentioned like one of the problems with this fight. You said it yourself that you really didn't hate the guy, and he didn't hate you, so there wasn't a lot of drama going in there. But yet, the most drama came out of your fight. I think. I really think you have the best story. You know.
I didn't even have internet for like a day since the fight. Like I didn't have internet at all in Manchester, only in my hotel room, and I only went back to my hotel room for like, seconds. So I didn't even see any of the responses until I came back to America. So that was really cool to see the response. I didn't think I was, I thought the response was terrible.
People were bugging out. Are you kidding me? People were bugging out on my timeline, and they were bugging. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit of a bubble because you're well liked in my circle, but I mean, people, I can't remember seeing one negative thing, and yeah, it must have been that thin. It was totally well received. I almost felt a little bad for Rucka because he won the fight. But and I saw that video you guys made afterwards, and it was real cool. He seems like a first-rate dude, man. Good people. Rucka.
Yeah,
and I wasn't familiar with his content.
They're very cool.
Yeah,
dude. Like there literally was no bad blood at all with him. But it's like everyone around you tells you got to try to look as intimidating. You got to just try to look as like you're angry.
Well, you're trying to knock this man. Like you have to go to another place. I want to make sure this guy is not conscious. You have to be a little bit of a killer.
Yeah.
A
Exactly.
bit of a killer. So I think it's why they're telling you. But I mean, if it's not you, it's not you. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. That's your makeup. You're not you're not that. It sounds like you're a sportsman, not a killer. And you're not a professional fighter. You're not going to make. You're obviously not KSI in this. You're not. You don't. This is YouTube boxing. You don't have any aspirations after this, do you?
No, dude. I did 2 months of training, man. It wasn't like it wasn't like I was training for a long ass. I mean, I know Rocka had more experience, but we didn't think. We thought that maybe the reach would have really gotten us points here, but it didn't help. As you could see from the fight itself. But he was an absolute fucking animal out there, dude. He's great.
Do you think NATO is relevant after the fall of the Soviet Union?
I like history too, dude. But no, I'm not gonna answer that right now, man.
Okay, all right. We'll give you some time to get back to you next time.
Give me another history question. I could probably get.
I got a real good question. The Tonka's gonna want to know this one. Would you consider an MMA fight if it was offered to you, or just boxing?
If it was as big as like this one, then yes. If it was like a big opportunity where then yeah, hell yeah, dude. I would do that. But if it was like, oh, we're gonna be in Ice Poseidon's UFC X2 MMA fight, probably not. But I told Ice actually that I would fight him in DMs, but. He said he just wants to talk to me privately, which sounds cool.
Cool. That's probably why.
Ice is a really cool dude, but I definitely would fight him. That would be I think it would be very fun.
Do you just like him?
If you ever wanted to. What?
Do you just like Ice, or you just want to fight him?
I like him.
Yeah.
I don't like maybe some of the people around him. I think some of them are fucking crazy, but he seems like a cool dude, and yeah, I think it would be a fun time to fight him.
Two Italian stallions. Got the Nino in there, and he's not. Is he from New York? No, he's not from New York, is he?
He's from Florida.
He's from Florida. Yeah. What's your favorite porn?
Jesus Christ. My favorite porn?
Yeah.
I like amateur, dude. I like it when it's like really like homemade. You know what I mean?
So you like when me and my wife film each other, right? That's the kind of because it's amateur.
Well, every now and then there's a good storyline, right? When you get the other porn, but you get too much into the storyline and not enough into the sex. You know what I mean? So I like the amateur shit, dude. The amateur shit it feels more real.
Good answer. I was going to ask you how you felt about the negative comments, but I didn't. Did you see any negative comments? Maybe one.
Well, yeah, there's definitely some comment. You know, people's like, oh, he whipped your ass, or oh, you got your ass fucking handed to you. And I'm like, well, fuck, dude. Yeah, I did. I mean, there's nothing you can say to that because it's true.
Fair enough.
So I only don't like negative comments when they're lying. You know, they're making up some bullshit. Then that's when it's like, oh fuck, man, like. You don't understand. This is you're spreading lies about me, you know. But if it's true and everyone can see it, then yeah.
I mean, you won the fight. I consider if you were like on your back, blood and spit coming out of your mouth, that to me is getting your ass beat. To me, you lost the fight. I mean, yeah, you took a lot of punches, but you lost the fight. All right. If you don't like that out there, fight me. All right, that's the way I feel. If he lost a fight, he can get fucking wrecked.
Well, another thing I also think of those people is like, I want to see you step in the ring with me because I think it would be a different story. Like, I know I don't look like a fighter, but I had spars beforehand where I would beat up guys who, you know, but they definitely were much like experienced in Rock. Right when I was in the ring with him, I knew that it wasn't going to go well. But it was like, you know, any random guy on the street, I'm sure I could beat up now because I have that training. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if any of these little fucking kids in the comments saying, "Oh, you know, you got your ass whipped," I want to see you try and box or do some fighting sport. Because it's not like I was going in there saying I was the best boxer in the world. Fuck no, dude. 2 months of training. Like, I just wanted the opportunity to be in front of those people.
Sure. We're almost coming to the end. I want to ask your permission. I want 2 fuckheads. I want if you could take 2 calls from 2 of my fans real quick. I got a few people in there. Would you be willing to do that? And
Yeah, sure.
We'll call this streaming. Hey, another Italian stallion, Scarce, all the way from UK and the old boot. You're on with Scarce. Do you have a question for him?
Hello, yeah. First of all, you did great. And I was wondering, did like family members or friends of yours like were telling you to not go to the fight? I don't know, for example,
my mom actually wanted to be there, but I didn't let her because I didn't want her, you know, I just didn't want her there, especially in that atmosphere. Fuck that. But yeah, obviously my family members, they didn't want to see me, you know, do the fight. And of course, all of my family was watching the fight. So what an embarrassment, dude. But yeah, so it was they definitely didn't want to see me, you know, do the fight. But I told them, like, well, I guess my dad really wanted it and my mom didn't want it. So it's one of those situations.
Nobody wants to see their kid get punched. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to try to get to the other guys before we get out of here. See if we get a few. Thanks, Scarce. Talk to you later, man.
Bye.
Take care. Jiggly Jaggly, whatever the hell your name is. You're on with John Scarce.
Hello.
Hey,
so... Oh, hello, Tommy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're on with Scarce. Go hit him up. Question.
Okay. So, Scarce, due to your amount of fasting and, like, getting off the weight, like, that much, because I saw you, like, your stomach was a little bit, like, inwards or something like that. Do you think, like, that amount lost of weight, like, was against you? Like, you didn't feel, like, as light as you should have been? Or do you feel like maybe the fight?
Well, it definitely feels a little weird when I like move my stomach around and stuff. Like the loose skin like sags and like it's very strange. I'm not gonna lie. And you know, we hope to get rid of that by the next few months. Hopefully, bulking up and maybe building a bit more muscle. Because I feel like you know I didn't really have very much during the fight. And
Jags, I'm gonna have to listen to the question because your microphone's in really bad shape. But if you could finish answering that, Scarce, I'd appreciate it.
So did it affect me during the fight? Honestly, dude, I don't even know. I don't know. It happened so fast, dude. It happened in like a few minutes. I only have like a couple things I could bring up in my head of me getting punched in, and that's really it. I mean, it was I just had put everything that I put into sparring into the fight, and ended up happening like that.
Vault, you're on the air with Scarce.
What's up? Hey, Scarce, big fan. Sorry for your loss. I have one question. What do you, like, if you had to fight someone, who would you fight? If you had to pick someone.
A YouTuber?
Yeah.
I fight PewDiePie, man.
Now you're thinking like a YouTuber. Yeah, no kidding. That's the fight you want. Either that or the Indian channel. Whoever runs that.
T-Series.
Yeah, T-Series? No.
Fight anybody in T-Series.
You can fight India, Scarce. You
Yeah,
can
fight all
all
of
of them.
India. Pootie pie. Why would you want to fight Poots?
It would be fun, I think.
Yeah,
I think
it
it would
would
be
be.
a fun fight.
Can you imagine knocking him out? You would happen is like you would knock him out and then you would catch him before he fell down and ask him if he was okay. That's what you would do. Believe me, I would. You all right?
Yeah.
All right, Paul. Thanks a lot,
Yeah,
man.
maybe you don't want to go all in on PewDiePie.
No, not too hard. You might want to win by decision. Jacob, you're on with Scarce real quick. 3, 2.
Hey.
Hey, Jacob, you're on with Scarce. Ask me.
Can you challenge Keemstar out again and create a bunch of drama and see you guys can fight?
I was thinking about that. Like if I had one, maybe challenge him on the mic. But I think I had a more serious speech I wanted to do. But honestly, dude, like Keemstar can do what he wants. He clearly doesn't want to box.
He might not be able to, in fairness to him. I mean, it's not reason. I'm going to stick up for Keem a little bit. I'm a little bit older than him. It might be too late, and not
like
his
you can't
fault.
just force YouTubers to box because you want them to. You know what I mean?
You're 21. He's 36 or 7. You know, see, you can't force it. It'd be dangerous.
Yeah, no,
you know?
I wouldn't. I don't think he has to if he doesn't want to.
No,
you know what
I don't think so either. I don't think so. I mean, he does. That's great. I mean, fucking sign up. I'd love to see him kick his ass, but I don't think it's reasonable with no fighting background. I don't think he'd be. I definitely think he'd do it if he physically could, though. I had to drop your call, Jacob, because you were echoing. 2 more were definitely done. Vega, you're on the air.
Yo.
Scarce. Vega, go.
All right, 2 questions.
All right, quick.
Scarce. What are 2 YouTubers that you want? Not KSI versus Logan Paul. We want to see. We don't care who loses, right? Somebody needs to get their ass whooped. But what do you want to see that could actually mold that public eye with the YouTube culture? So I'm not talking, some popular fake ass YouTuber. I'm talking about like, a YouTuber, but you want to see 2 of them go at it that you think it will catch the attention of the world.
Biggest fight, I guess. Biggest.
Not in a meme sense, because Logan Paul versus KSI. Come on, dude.
Let me help you out.
I don't know what the fuck everybody else is talking about.
How would you book the biggest YouTube? Poods would probably be.
I think it would be really funny to see like Ninja versus Myth or some Fortnite guys in the ring trying to fight. You know what I mean?
Oh wow,
it would be really funny.
Ninja versus Myth, and Dr. Disrespect versus Alinity. I'm all for that one too.
Yeah, see, that's still entertainment, not
PewDiePie versus Alinity.
Actually,
in the
Dr.
boxing ring, dude. Oh my god, stop it, dude.
I was thinking.
Also, have you heard of BSN News?
BSN News.
Who?
BSN News.
BSN News.
Oh, you have. Oh, coming for you.
Stop plugging.
Coming for you, dude.
Get out of here.
I might have, dude. No, I might have.
No, it's his fucking channel. He took over our Catch 33. Catch 33. Yeah, that was Vega. He did the graphics. You need graphics. I can get you in touch with him. There's absolutely no problem. And our final call for the night, long-time caller, narrator's here. Last one.
Hey,
what's going on? Go. What's up? What's up, big
Yeah,
man?
Scarce. So ever since I heard the announcement, I just had to ask, what the fuck were you doing accepting a bout against Raka Raka, the guy who, proudly proclaims that he throws shit at his head and runs into walls?
What were you thinking, Scarce?
I didn't know him. I didn't know of his channel very well, and I just kind of accepted it. And then after that, I'm like, well, shit. Well, I can't really do anything right now. I'm not gonna sound like a pussy, So I went in there, and what happened.
Dude, I mean, you look great though. I might have to get your.
There's no loser, narrator. There's no loser. Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Oh no! It's not about a winner or a loser. I'm just saying, what's the mindset of going up against Raka Raka?
I don't know. I mean,
dude, it really wasn't a mindset. It was he was the first, because I really wanted to get in on it, man. I wanted to get in on that fight, and the Keemstar said no, he wasn't, and there was no one else.
You had to go.
And then Raka just DMs me.
I'll fight you, mate.
I'm like, hell yeah.
Well, I got a question, I guess. If at the time you knew who he was and you knew how fucking crazy he was, would you have still accepted it?
I might have, dude, if there was no one else, because it just was the opportunity, dude. The opportunity.
Yeah,
and I think
YouTube
I'm happy I did it
yeah.
because I'm happy that it, you know, it forced me to continue losing the weight and it forced me to, you know, not fall into any of the, you know, the shit that I was in. So I'm happy that I ended up doing it, and I'm happy I showed up to Manchester.
All right.
Well, I mean, hey, you look great, man.
Look great.
Congratulations.
Take care, Nary.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for the call. I think we've reached the end of the line. I want to thank you so much, John, for giving us Riveter. Thanks so much for the Twitch subscriber. I want to thank you so much. This is one of my favorite interviews. I think I like this one better than the second one, or the first one. I got to be honest with you. This is really great. You are. I think Jeff and Zhivago say this as well. You truly are you're the people's champ, Italian stallion, people's champ. And I don't want to sound corny, but I think you know, most of us that do this, especially you guys. I mean, you came up when FaZe was getting big. You know, that's where our hearts are at in gaming, and for some reason, YouTube became. You know, you got into news, drama, whatever, and you know, everybody seemed to go their own way. And I know there's a lot of kids, not that there's anything wrong with gaming, but they get in that kind of weed smoking, playing whatever game they're into cycle. And I really believe that you.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends from high school. Totally. Just...
I'm not dumping on those kids, by the way. You know, I get them. I know those kids growing up as well.
Dude, that's the best life ever, man. Just smoking weed, playing video games. That's amazing, dude.
But
I think of that like, but the issue is you can't do that. You know what I mean? That's what I learned is like, you can't just kind of be a slob, because even though you want to be a slob, and everyone wants to be a slob and everyone wants to pig out on their favorite food, you can't do it, because in the future you're gonna regret it. You know what I mean? So you just kind of have to.
Well, I think what happens is you get in that habit. You get the habit when you're 16, and next thing you know, you're 20. You know, and then what do? I'm kind of in the same circle. But I think what you showed is you showed a lot of people it can be snapped. You can go another direction and still be a hardcore big gamer and still be making YouTube videos. You can do it all. It's possible. You just got to get disciplined.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, just got to get disciplined.
I've gained probably 5 pounds of body fat since the fight.
It was well earned. Well earned. I'm gonna put your pictures up there for the last time because I want.
Dude, I had like a whole box of Krispy Kreme donuts the day after the fight. 12 donuts, man. All in one sitting. Dude, you should know how much I was eating before, man. It's 2 pints of Ben & Jerry's in one sitting. You know how many grams of fat in that? That's like
I have no
200
idea. Never
grams
checked.
of fat in one sitting.
No idea. Never checked. I just eat the shit and I don't think about it because I'm old.
Dude, I would just totally pig out, man. It was so great, and I miss it, dude. But I'm done with that. I'm done with that life. I'm done with it.
You know, you could go back to hockey, and my boy could hook you up in a long. You could go to men's league if you want to do that, because you probably can't fight forever. We're getting Fs. Is there something wrong in the chat? Why are they doing that?
No, they're doing respect to Scarce.
Oh, man, you got mad respect. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And I think we should end it right there. Thanks, everybody. People's champ right here. John Scarce on Shot from the Point, another legendary interview. If you ever want to come back, buddy, you let us know. From me, Scarce, whole Shot from the Point team, we'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Good night.
This is the almighty infinite, independent excellence, devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist, fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne, running with these Wolverines, okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me, head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree, Chi-Town to King's home, slapping 5s, black stones, 6 mile to danger zones, bullets look like waffle cones, folk affiliated to evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me lead them eagles to you like I'm Chip Kelly. They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to breathe. Here's a headline.